Well, percenters, welcome back. Coach Tom here, 1424 basketball training, thinking basketball. Jordan Poole Warriors scored 70 points in 19 minutes. I think this is the new death lineup. So let's watch and see what they say together.
4.5 minutes into game 2 between the Warriors and the Nuggets, Monty Morris banked in an off-balance drive to put Denver up 43-31. Fast forward to the 26-second mark of the third quarter, and the Warriors would lead 101-79.
Yikes.
Timeout. Can I take a timeout?
That's
Moving my
right,
computer
Golden
around.
State scored 70
This iPad
points
is useless
in
now.
about a quarter and a half. And
I don't know
their
what I did.
explosion was almost entirely fueled by the Splash Cousins, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and the family's newest member, Jordan Poole. Jordan started
JP3.
with a gorgeous behind-the-back pass to a cutter. Then, on the other end, dug down into a driving lane to rip Morris and head the other way for an easy 2. With Curry back on the floor, Klay set a screen for him to fly off, Steph's gravity pulled on both defenders, and it was Poole delivering the dime to a cutting Thompson. We've seen Draymond make that pass countless times, but even as a shooting threat, Poole can run point up top too, and his passing brings a critical dimension to this new Warriors death lineup. He's yet another on-ball weapon who can hit cutters in the Warriors' movement-heavy system. And
Jordan Poole is a hybrid. He's definitely a hybrid. He can catch and shoot like Klay. He can dribble like Curry. He's definitely a better passer than Klay Thompson, and it gives them another level of athleticism and joy and I guess uniqueness to when he's going to pass, because you don't know when he's going to go one-on-one and when he's going to pass. So the more he's integrated into the system and the more they let him make decisions, the better the Warriors will be, because Steph Curry does not always have the one-on-one advantage against most guys. Jordan Poole is young enough right now. He's versatile enough, has enough handle to pretty much blow by anybody, and he has the speed to do it. Curry at this age, he can dance and quick around a lot of players, but he's not one-on-one breaking down most guys, especially the longer, lengthier guys.
And he can attack and use all his shifty quickness to punish collapsing defenses. There's a creativity to his passing. He's a step ahead and touch passes this one just a bit wide. And watch his eyes here, faking Gary Harris off the floor on the lob so he can bounce it underneath him for the layup. Perhaps
He's got some
most
playmaker
importantly,
tendencies.
Poole's extra passing fits perfectly with all the motion out there, and he can cut as a threat and then find openings off his own movement. Later in the second quarter, we saw a perfect example of this, with Draymond breaking out on a 3-on-3, and he slows down to wait for the cavalry, and Poole wisely cuts off Klay Thompson, which forces Aaron Gordon to jump over and help, so Poole knows his man will be open, and he goes behind the back for this dime. Again, Jordan's execution on these ideas isn't always perfect. This actually hits his own leg, then Gordon's leg, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than never see the pass in the first place.
What makes a great pass? Right type, right time, right target. Got lucky, hit his leg, but it still got there.
Earlier in the first, we saw an example of Poole getting a bit loose with his passing. That's also great hands from Nikola Jokic. But Poole's extra dimension that makes
Like these,
earlier in
you
the
have
first,
to live with
we
these
saw an
mistakes as
example
he
of
evolves.
Poole getting a bit loose with his passing.
So right here, this is just lazy understanding that it's always there. You got to understand Joker's got them long, gangly arms.
That's also great hands from Nikola Jokic. But Poole's extra dimension that makes this a death lineup is his deadly shooting from beyond the arc, and his shifty burst off the bounce. He's lightning quick at 6'4", deadly with jab step fakes, and Jokic isn't quick enough to help in time on that drive. Poole's quickness is exacerbated when Curry's in the game, because weak side defenders are preoccupied with his screening action, and Jordan can attack Jokic in space, and that's some more fluid shiftiness on a step back. During this huge run, Curry started attacking Jokic in high pick and roll, and this is a brutal spot for Jokic, having to worry about Steph's pull-up three, then not having help behind because Will Barton wants to close out to Klay in the corner. They come back to it on the very next trip, And Morris wants to push Curry to the sideline, but Draymond repositions the screen. Jokic has to recover to the middle, and now Steph can attack him downhill, and that's just individual brilliance against good defense. On the next possession,
you gotta
has to recover to the middle, and now Steph can attack him downhill.
I mean, as a fan, you love the brilliance, but you gotta make adjustments. Like you gotta just leave Wiggins open.
Individual.
You gotta just leave Wiggins open, and then Jeff Green's gotta come on this side, and Jokic just gotta take away one side and just force Curry to finish over the middle, over 3 guys, or pass to Wiggins.
On the next possession, the Nuggets were cross-matched in transition, with Jokic having to pick up Poole, and Gordon slams on the brakes to take away the 3, so Jokic has to help off the line on Steph's drive, and then it's harder for him to recover and close out. And did I mention Poole can shoot too?
I mean, this is a kind of a lucky play here. Curry stumbles.
Steph's drive, and then it's harder for him to recover and close out. And did I mention Poole can shoot too? Denver simply had to hide too many defenders in this lineup. Jokic is on an island in pick and roll, and Gordon's too slow for Poole in space. And the reason he has that space is because Morris follows Curry to the corner. In case you forgot, the reason Morris was preoccupied with Steph after he passed is because of his legendary relocation 3. And if you were wondering why Gordon was worried about Curry in transition, it's because if you fall asleep and don't find Curry, he'll just walk into high percentage 3s, and that's enough to give Mike Malone headaches.
Nugget, you have to be focused, man. I don't know if these guys are known for their intelligence, the Nuggets. How much focus and how keyed in can they be defensively? Is Will Barton or Jeff Green always keyed in at? I think Jeff Green would be one of the smarter ones. He has some championship experience. I think Aaron Gordon might be falling asleep on some of these. And Monte Morris, I think he's just getting demoralized. And Joker, he's just getting exposed, pure and simple. It's just bad matchups all around.
The harm for 4 more. And with future 6th Man of the Year Steph Curry waiting on the bench,
gold-blooded,
the Warriors continued to turn defense into offense and push Denver in transition, with Draymond picking up free throws on this rebound by attacking Joker. After
a soft foul.
3-shot foul on this Poole jumper, Barton ground inside for 2, and off of the make, no one matches up with Klay, so Jokic
ain't no time to
Draymond
complain.
Pushes the pace, and with Jokic in hot pursuit, Jeff Green thinks a switch is a good idea, and Draymond shoots some fish in a barrel. The Nuggets then settle down a bit defensively, communicating, switching, and taking away easy passes here, only to watch Green pour salt in the wound by canning an open 3 against the shot clock. Still, their defense had a few more wins, with Poole finally missing, and then another trip that completely fizzled out and ended in a tough isolation jumper from the 5th member of this death lineup, Andrew Wiggins.
I don't know any Olympians that come off the bench. I don't know any All-Star that come off the bench. I don't know any former MVP that come off the bench.
Well, I do, and unfortunately for the Nuggets, his name is Stephen Curry, and this feels almost cruel, but he checked in and started attacking Jokic in high pick and roll again, splitting him with a running floater. Have I mentioned this is a terrible matchup for Denver? Because it's the same thing the next time down, spamming Draymond, Steph pick and roll.
They're just hunting this pick and roll relentlessly, man.
Corner to help, so Steph shoots it to Klay, and that's a warm-up shot for him. And so, mercilessly, they go right back to the Curry Green ball screen, 40 feet away. The Nuggets defended pretty well, with, again, Barton leaving the corner, but this time Curry can't get the pass through, and that's okay because on the scramble, it gets there anyway, and that's 2 in a row for Klay, who suddenly had that.
This is a lucky play. There's a few lucky plays here. Curry tends to get a little loose with his handle, and he's not as athletic as you think he is in terms of NBA, and not as strong. So he should have passed it earlier, obviously, in this little gap here. But he tries to shoot it instead of just rotate the ball and make the easy pass.
This time Curry can't get the pass through, and that's okay because on the scramble, it gets there anyway, and that's 2 in a row for Klay, who suddenly
you need to be lucky.
About him.
Sometimes all those 50-50s go your way.
Screen, and now Thompson was officially on fire, just in case y'all forgot about Klay.
There's too many of them.
On Denver's next possession, the same themes popped up. Green's deflection means more defense to offense, and Bones Highland is worried about the white-hot Klay in the corner, so Curry walks in for a layup. Golden State's pace with this lineup is simply overwhelming at times. The Nuggets
Will
are
Barton's
setting their
getting
half-court
wrecked.
defense, and Curry flies into the picture off a high screen, and that means a big is flying at him in space, so Curry just sidesteps, and it's another 4-point play. The Warriors'
That boy's
deadly
cold.
defense keyed so many of these chances.
Jordan Poole's the thing that makes it really work, that takes it to the next level.
Sauntering out in transition into a look what I found three-pointer. And as we discussed earlier in the season, Poole's been a positive contributor on a Warriors defense that looked historically great with Draymond Green. One of the keys to this new death lineup is Poole's effort and awareness on defense.
He's just got
There's one of
energy.
those wild
Energy,
passing ideas
speed.
that doesn't work, but he's very communicative for a 22-year-old guard, pointing a lot and reading actions in advance to make steals like that easy. And you can see it on a play like this, where he switches away from the ball to get off a center, then slides out to the point of attack, works to get around a screen, and prevents any defensive breakdown. He isn't a strong defender per se. He can be taken off the ball like this, but the Warriors' scheme is about teamwork, communication, and positioning, and he's had good enough moments to make this death say.
When I talk about defense, I always talk about like risk management. So you have to watch the multiple reactions, and teams nowadays
Reading actions
in the
in
NBA,
advance.
especially as it gets to playoffs, they're going to be keyed in. So how keyed in defensively can you
Feels
be?
like that easy.
Risk
You
management.
can
How
see
much
it on a
risk
play
do you allow? So just this communication
where
here,
he switches away
not getting on the big and staying
from
onto
the ball to
Cole
get off
Anthony.
a center,
That's smart, right?
then slides
And then
up
here is 34 a threat to shoot,
point.
or is Cole Anthony more a threat to
Attack.
shoot? So do I go under the screen, over the
Works
screen?
to
So
get
let me fight over the screen in this situation,
prevents
right? Uses his speed to get back in front.
defensive break.
Okay, and then this shot, simple
He
closeout.
isn't a strong
Regardless of whether he makes it or not, right here, he's probably a little bit too far backpedaling against CJ McCollum, who's super
Per se.
shifty. So anchored push cross
He
there.
can be taken off the ball like
And then
this,
just gets
but the Warriors'
blown
scheme
by.
is about teamwork.
Right here against the Suns. This is a very long pass, so you just take the right angle. You don't have to be super attached to Mikal Bridges in the corner. But this is such a long pass that you can get a simple deflection by just reading his eyes and then getting the pressure from Gary Payton Jr. on the ball to make Cam Payton pick up the ball in that situation. So a lot of things have to go right defensively for something good to happen. So right here, Cam Payne picks it up for no real reason. He's trying to get at JaVale McGee. It's not there. He's trying to swing it across. It's not there. And then it gets just,
and he's had good enough moments
stolen.
to make this death lineup whole, yelling for help on this back cut, then just
oh, that's number 2. That's not even Cam
bolting
Payne.
over to save the day himself. The defense doesn't need to be great with their offensive potential. There's his passing we've discussed, but Poole's Curry impersonation, crossing pass with Steph, and then cutting like him off the ball, gives this 5-man unit with Green, Wiggins, and Klay
They're
such
very
a
tough
great
guards,
offensive
man.
potential. In addition to
I always talk about passing is the most important skill in basketball, man.
Ball scorer to complement Steph with all kinds of
The game is very, very much more football than basketball.
Some ridiculous burst off the dribble. And with all that space the shooters provide, he can finish in a variety of ways at the basket. So it's fitting that after such a titanic onslaught, that it was Curry who spaced the floor on the weak side for Poole attacking Denver's center on an island, and he opted for the Ray Allen super step back 3.
That was the coldest shot
On
ever.
the next trip, Curry runs pick and roll and sends it to Poole, who whips it to the roller for
more.
some San Francisco showtime. And finally, to top it off, Jordan draws 4
So
Nugget
wiggly.
defenders in the half court.
Wiggly,
and flips
wriggly.
it no look dime to a cutting teammate to give the Warriors a stunning 70 points in 18 minutes and
Jordan Poole, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry together will extend Curry's career and Klay's career so much more because Poole can be the workhorse. Draymond Green can hang around a little bit more, but you need another versatile type big. But them three, the shooting of those three with the passing ability, catch and shoot ability, they're
39 seconds
trouble,
of
man.
action against a completely overwhelmed Nugget defense. In those 19 minutes, Curry scored 21 points, Poole 20, and Klay added 14 in the unofficial coming out party.
I
For
mean,
the Golden State Warriors,
I don't need to overreact to this stuff, but there are some bad matchups in here if they're just going to keep
to support this channel,
abusing Joker and Will Barton. But those are the ones that I would try to exploit. You also have Aaron Gordon, who's a little bit too slow on the perimeter. He's better on the ball, not off the ball. And when I talk about getting open off the ball, it's a lot easier to get open off the ball. You just need a bunch of willing passers or good quarterbacks. What do you guys think? Let me know. Is this the death lineup, or the new death lineup, whatever they want to call it, or is it just the Nuggets with a really, really bad matchup? I think Poole is he's an all-star in the making, and this is his coming out party. Until next video, take 14 minutes, 24 seconds, or 1% of your day to get better. Peace.